that sister-in-law of yours, if she does anything else to you like that, then I'll be there to teach her a lesson. So please, let me know the next time I can be of assistance to you in dealing with her.
I feel like if I really do ask you to handle her, you'll end up beating the life out of her. If that's how you're still going to act, then I have no choice but to really teach you a lesson.
I want to know what you mean.
You'll know soon enough. I'm no longer going to sit back and let you have the easy way out.
Please forgive me for what I've done. I promise that I'll make everything up to you at some point after today.
What? Who is this I'm talking to right now? Are you really the Vicky I know? Could this be a completely different person I'm talking with right now? I suppose just your behavior has finally changed after how scary of a meeting you had after the accident, right?
Please stop making fun of me. I'm really in deep crap now after that. Can you please tell me where I'm at right now? Where I'm being forced to work now? None of the people here can even speak English. Please do something to help get me out of this hell.
What? They don't speak English there? I'm sorry, but I don't know where you've been taken away to. All of that is what my friend and her friend wanted to do with you. And considering it was my friend you chose to make beef with, you're going to have to talk with her from now on. I have no part in your mess now.
What the hell kind of friend is that? Seriously, I have no idea who you would be friends with that could do something like this to another person. This is scaring me. Please help me, AJ. I can't do this any longer. I don't want to work here with all these strange people.
From what I know is that after you ran into my friend's friend, you were taken away from those mountains. But considering nobody around you is speaking English now, you might as well not be in the US anymore. I'm not sure where you ended up, but I don't really care.
What are you saying then, AJ? Who the hell is that person you're friends with?
reverts back to the person she was before, I hope that gang still has a leash on her so that they can take her back to hell again. I am very thankful for what Thea and her friends did for us, and made sure to repay back that favor any way I could these past few years. And ever since I had my baby, Thea's been coming over to have dinner with my husband and I, as we let our babies have play dates and become good friends. hugging you so affectionately when getting out of their car. From what could be seen, it even looked like he had one hand on your boobs.
But that's just something they do over in Korea. When the passenger they've driven arrives at their destination, the driver will get out and hug them passionately.
Are you sure about that? Well, if you are, don't be upset then by the fact I recorded footage of that as for her.
This is Marvin's father, Sean. And I would assume that this is his fiancée, Brinley, who I'm texting with now? I heard from him that you will be coming out to our house soon to meet with us and talk about your guys' upcoming marriage to one another. Is that true?
Good evening, Sean. Yes, I do intend to come out to your house to see you and your wife so that I can talk to you about how I'll be marrying your son. And thank you both so much for being able to spare some of your time on that day.
I see. Well, about that meeting, I would like to meet with and talk to both of your parents as well. So would you mind bringing the both of them along with you when you come?
Huh? You want for my parents to come along with me to see you guys? I was assuming since this would be my first time coming out to speak with you, just coming by myself would be best. But if you really do want to see them along with me, then I'll ask them if they're both available and can come along.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I wouldn't want you to force them both to come out and see me, so please let them stay behind if that's what you wanted to do. And I'm sure you may have already heard about this before from my son, but I happen to be the president of a very large company. So I would actually rather you just come, and if things go well, then I can have you call your parents and I'll speak with them over the phone.
Wait, what? But didn't you just say you wanted to meet with them and then asked me to bring them along?
Of course I did, but I, more than anyone, can understand wasting time on unnecessary business.
Unnecessary? Are you saying it would be unnecessary to meet with my parents in person now? I'm sorry, Sean, but I hope that me being there to talk with both you and your wife won't be unnecessary either.
Brinley, if you want me to be honest with you, I like for meetings like these to go by quickly. In other words, if I find you to be a good fit for my son like he's said you are, then you'll get my approval and I'll be ready to speak with your parents. Otherwise, you bringing your parents along to my house and everything would be a complete waste of everyone's time if I were not to approve of you, right?
Huh?
After all, the most important thing that I want to learn from meeting with you is if you'll be able to take care of my son or not. It won't be about your parents or anything like that until after I've seen and approved of you.
I see. I've heard a lot about you from Marvin, by the way, about how you're a very straightforward man who doesn't like to waste anyone's, let alone his own, time.
And that is correct, which means even if my son says that he thinks you're perfect for him and that he really loves you, I'll be the final judge in swiftly deciding that.
Okay. So Marvin really wasn't kidding about you then.
That's right. I did say I'm the president of a very large and successful company, didn't I? When running a company so big that I can't even remember most of my employees' names, you have a lot of decisions you have to make for everything. And when making those decisions, I leave them up to nobody else besides myself, and everyone knows that.
Oh.
And the same thing goes when it comes to Marvin and the rest of my family as well. I want to make sure he lives a life that will not only be free from shame to himself, but also free from shaming my whole family and company.
Well, I promise you that I'll make sure both your son and your family are all treated with the respect you all deserve.
You absolutely should, since my family has a lot riding on it. So, when it comes to this meeting, I will be the one to make the final decision about you. That is my family's policy, after all.
So is that the reason why you've achieved so much success so far?
That's correct.
Understood. Then I'll make sure to leave my parents behind, but ready to take any calls from you in case you want to have a word with them.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, please call me Mr. Walters. I am not Sean to you, and you will never address me as your father until the wedding has happened and you are my son's wife. And that's only if I allow you to ever marry him.
Okay.
If by chance I do not allow it, then you will only call me President Walters, and nothing besides that.
Okay, Mr. Walters, I'm sorry for calling you by your first name just then.
Apology accepted. Now I look forward to seeing you when you make your way over to my house. Brinley, you stop screwing around like that right now!
That's what I'm wanting to say to you now. What did you even think you were doing, throwing hot tea all over me like that?
I was doing what naturally had to be done to someone like you. How dare you even step foot into my house with such a pathetic status such as your own? The moment I learned that your father is nothing more than a middle school graduate, I knew you were no match for my son, nor this household. And yet you thought you could still have a chance at becoming his wife?
Are you out of your mind right now?
I will never allow such a troublesome marriage in my family. Whatever plans you had with my son before are cancelled now.
Is that what you think? I see then. In that case, consider the contract you had with our company cancelled.
What do you even think you're talking about right now? Are you trying to dream up a reality now that could never be possible for you? What contract might the one you're talking about even be for? I know, that contract you made with my son to get married. Well, that's no longer happening now, and you will never get to see my son ever again.
Marriage is something that Marvin gets to decide himself.
You think that stupid son of mine knows what's best for himself? Where even is he right now? Did he run away with you because he was more worried about the way you ended up than the way his family could have? Well, that makes sense, since this was the first time my son has ever told me to stop. I can't believe a day like today would come where my own flesh and blood would defy me. Could he be entering his rebellious phase or something like that now?
Perhaps he has. That was the first time I've ever heard him yell before, so I was just as surprised as you are now. But now that you've seen how he responded to what you did, it's pretty clear, right? Marvin is on my side and will never go back to your family.
Are you sure about that, though? If he goes with you, then he'll never have another chance at getting a company like mine. But if he wants that future still, then he needs to give up on you and come back here, as he cannot have you becoming his wife when you have such a low-life high school dropout of a father. Now, I don't care what all he told me just a bit ago. He will be coming back to me and will not be stupid enough to throw this all away. And you know why I know that? Because I'm the one who makes all the decisions for him and this family.
You think so? You might be a very respectable company president, Mr. Walters, but the only reason your company has grown so large is because of the profits it's been able to pull in. And when it comes to profits, it's not just the president that's in control of that, but others as well. We will be canceling our contract with your company, and from there learn just how little all that decision-making of yours has actually helped.
What? So you really think that you have the ability to cancel whatever contract you think you've made with my company? What kind of nonsense are you going on about right now? I think you and that middle school graduate of a low-life father you have aren't good enough to be talking about things like my company and the business world. This is it for you all now, as I'm cutting ties to you and your parents, and I'll make sure that Marvin does the same.
I see. Well, if you really think that's the best idea, then I have no other choice. Very well then, Mr. Walters. Goodbye forever.
Brinley, I'm so very sorry about what all happened yesterday. I never thought something as bad as that could happen between you and my father. This is the first time my own father has ever done something so embarrassing and dangerous. Such disgraceful behavior as that is not forgivable by any means.
Don't apologize for it. You didn't do anything wrong then, so it's not your problem to try and apologize for. And yesterday, my dad spoke with you about it, right? That you have nothing to feel sorry for after what your dad did? And if you thought my dad was just acting kind then, he really meant it because he really likes you now after what you did.
What? What are you talking about?
Well, after what your dad did to me, you came all the way back to my place and apologized to us, right? That's when I told my dad about how you tried to stand up for me against your dad, and my dad said you really are a good man for me. Ever since that comment, my dad hasn't stopped talking about you, actually. But the only problem is you and I will probably never marry now after that whole fiasco, right? Your dad made it very clear to me that he would not let you marry me.
I know he said all of that to you then, but you really think I'm gonna do as my dad says and leave you?
What? But when it comes to your dad, he's still very... Well, if he were to learn that you married me without his permission, he wouldn't stand for it and would try and kill you, right? In other words, the only way you'd be able to make marrying me work is to cut ties to your dad completely.
Yeah, and I don't care at all if I have to cut ties to him for good. And when it comes to my dad's company, he can hand that off to someone else someday. I don't actually care about inheriting it from him, and if anything, after you pull that contract from his company, I'm sure it will fall to the ground. I really, really want to be married to you, Brinley. And after seeing just how terrible and childish my dad really is, I don't want to have any part of him in my life. Yeah, I'm sure that you don't want to have to bother with me either if I'm still attached to him, right?
Wait, so are you really going to? Are you really going to say goodbye to your family for me? Well, if that's the case, then what are you going to do in order to lose them?
I'm gonna tell it to them straight, that I'm cutting ties to them and don't want them to ever bother you guys or me again. I want to be in charge of the life I have with you, which means that I want to be the one who says yes to marrying you.
So then you really are saying no to your dad's company? I don't mind you doing that, but your dad did raise you all your life to take it from him, right?
I get that, but I don't care that he wasted so much time on me for nothing. I guess I've lived a lot of my life so far with the goal of taking it over after him, and that's why he invested so much into me. But after what happened between you and him this time, I cannot associate myself with him anymore. I don't want to, and that is why I will not be taking that company from him anymore. I feel if I were to stay with him and take over that company, I'd turn into the same pile of garbage he is, and I don't want that to happen to me. Do you get what I mean? I do not want to be near him, and I do not want to become him.
Are you 100% sure about that then?
Absolutely. Also, I've had dreams of running a company of my own someday, as well as plenty of other things my dad would never allow. In other words, this is the best chance for me to escape and to finally have my freedom of choosing my own future for myself.
So you've really been thinking about all of that? All right, I get it.
So that means this, Brinley. If you are still okay with the path I'm now choosing, will you marry me? I'm sure that for a little while here it'll be tough having to dodge my family as I break away from them. But I really want to become married to you. That feeling is never going to change, and I hope you feel that same way. I promise that I'll make the both of us happy.
Thank you so much, Marvin. Of course I'm going to marry you. I've been wanting to marry you for a long time now, and nothing is ever going to change that as long as you feel the same. And I'm sure my dad will be so happy to hear that.
Thank you. I promise that I'll become just as successful as you've been expecting. I already have some ideas in mind for what I'm doing next, and I'll show everyone that I can have a company of my own. And I promise that I won't make you ever regret marrying me.
Please and thank you, Marvin. I really look forward to seeing what you plan to do next.
Brinley, yesterday was a tough day for me, and I am very sorry for what all I've done to you. I never thought that your father of all people would be one of the closest company owners to my own company. I have learned a lot from my mistakes now. At first, I only assumed that he'd be nothing more than another common man to me. But I seem to have realized the true man your father is too late, and I'm so terribly sorry about that.
Yep, that's correct. And like you were saying about it being too late, that contract being canceled will no longer change. Thank you so much for the help you lended my dad's company up until this point in time. Goodbye forever now.
Hold on for just one moment, please. I really didn't have any idea at the time. Had I been more aware, I would have never behaved in such a rude manner around you. That's why I'm asking you to please stop saying that such a contract will be cancelled.
That has nothing to do with your bad behavior. That was something my dad decided to do to you. So you apologizing to me for your terrible behavior won't change anything in regards to the contract. I'm sorry to have to say this, but after what you've done, there will no longer be any relationship with my family anymore. Therefore, the only hope you have left is praying to whatever God you believe in for help.
Please don't say that about this. I understand that what I was saying to you before was completely unacceptable of me. So from the bottom of my heart, I apologize to you.
I'm sure you do, from the bottom of that black heart of yours. And of course you should be feeling pretty sorry right now. Do you want to know the reason why my dad dropped out of high school? Because he found the kind of schooling he was being forced through to not tickle his fancy enough. My dad has always been interested in the business world ever since elementary school, and luckily one of his dad's friends was kind enough to show him the ropes. So over time and eventually into high school, my dad had been able to learn all kinds of things that would set him apart from all the other kids in his grade, and soon would allow him to leave public schooling. From there, he started his own company under the guidance of his mentor, and that soon led to it growing larger than most would ever be able to fathom. Which means when it comes to your little company, my dad does not need to continue working with you, as he has contracts with plenty of other companies just like yours. Those remaining companies will now be doing more business with my dad, as they will all get some of the funding that had been going to you.
Hold on for just a second. That is something nobody should be proud of doing, right? What I've done and what my company does are two separate things.
That doesn't change anything. Because you made it very clear to me before that you are a company president, a CEO. And you told me that your son would be next in line, and that would not allow him to marry the daughter of a middle school graduate man. You said that to me a few days ago, right? You were against me becoming his wife, correct?
I know that I said that.
So even after saying all of that to me, you are going to now tell me that you and your company aren't the same thing? I like to think that when you told me you made all the decisions for everyone in your house and in your company, you were the same thing. I've already heard about how plenty of companies have stopped working with yours due to your actions regarding company standards. But thankfully, my dad is a very kind man, and during all of that was willing to put your way of running a company aside and still work to support you. But not anymore. He is no longer happy with the way you not only handled your company, but your family at home. And that is why the contract between us will be canceled for good now.
You can't be serious right now. Please rethink what you're doing here. And of course I'll now allow you to marry Marvin. Sure, he may not be the best man around, but if you still love him, you may marry him. Actually, please marry my son.
Did you just talk about your son like he's not that great? That's weird, considering I find him to be a wonderful man. Compared to you, not only is he a man worth respecting, but he's also able to manage a company properly. Even my dad understands that about Marvin, hence why he loves him just as much as I do. Unlike you, your son has not developed any of the horrible social behaviors and said that he most definitely never will as long as I'm with him. Now, you stop acting like you know your son right now.
That's... You all seem to be very close to my son and are willing to believe anything he says, right? And if you all find him to be that wonderful of a man, then thank you! After hearing you talk about him like that, then there's really hope that you're going to marry him still, right? I assumed something like that would never happen after the way I behaved, yet you're still in love with him. Thank goodness! Now, since you will become his wife, I look forward to becoming your father-in-law and working together with you and your family from here on out.
Stop BSing me there, Sean. I sure will be getting married to your son still. But that does not mean you will become a part of our family, as we're going to be cutting ties to you. And that is including your son, who also wants to say goodbye to you forever. So please, carry on by yourself now as you try and save what will become your floundering company.
What are you trying to say there? That's impossible. There's no way my son would ever be able to cut ties to me. That boy has always lived under my guidance and wouldn't know the first thing of what to do on his own without me around. and there has never been a time in his life where he's gotten away with trying to fight back at me. If you're going to be marrying my son, then you are also going to become a part of my family. Don't you find that to be the natural way of things? That means your family and mine will become one massive business-based family.
Yes, that's right. My family will carry on as one big happy business-based family. But in such a family, we all have zero use for you.
What? What are you talking about now?
Your son is going to build a company of his own now, and my dad and myself will both be supporting his company as it grows. However, your company is done for, and we will not have any part of it.
What? Are you being serious about that right now?
Yes, of course I am. Your son has grand ideas of what he plans on doing, and we will make sure that it goes well for him. We will be his support, both financially and as a family. In other words, part of the money that was going to your company will now go to his.
Hold on just a second. You can't really be doing that. This company that I have currently, I've put a lot of blood and sweat into. And if you guys really do end that contract with me, then I'll lose out on a lot of income that my company needs. That would really spell the end for my company and I.
Like I care to hear about it. Things have already been decided here, Sean. And you were the one who agreed with me before about cutting ties to my family and I. So please stop whining, as all my family and I are doing is cutting said ties to you.
That's not what I meant. Because what you're doing now is really bad. I never thought that the girl my son wanted to marry was the daughter of my biggest customer.
Did you know that my dad was never going to be able to come to your house that day when I came, even if you really did want him there? That's because he's overseas right now managing other parts of his company and cannot be in the US for some time. Which also means this canceling of your guys' contract isn't technically being processed by him, but one of his trusted subordinates. So there's nothing you can do. But why would you want to do anything, since this is what you wanted, right?
Oh, so how could this be what I wanted?
Well, you're getting what you asked for and having us all out of your way. And thank goodness for that, because had I married your son without knowing the kind of horrible monster you are, then that contract would have continued. And then, at some point, you would have really learned who my dad is, and then started to us him since you would have had me marry your son. The thing is, though, my family does not have the money that a jackass like you actually needs.
That's...
When you try and make fun of others based off their education alone like that, you'll get hurt even worse. So please, now that it's happened to you once with my dad, learn from it and never try making fun of others based off of that alone ever again. But I don't care if you do continue to behave like such a dick, because it won't be my life getting ruined by it. Just yours, as all of those around you who realize that you're nothing more than a whining and judgmental prick will leave you. Hey, what the hell are you trying to do? I hear the security guard got to you before you could come and burn down our house. Sean, did losing your company really have to turn you into an outright criminal?
You have it all wrong. That was not the plan I had. I really need you and everyone else to listen to me. But before I could get to your house and see you all, the security guard got me.
And what I was talking about is how you had that Molotov cocktail in your bag, and when you tried running up to our house, the security guard was able to come after you. And just before he tackled you, you tried to light that cocktail and throw it towards our window, right? What the hell do you actually think you're doing now?
I was just carrying it as a way of threatening you guys, and that was all I planned on doing, just that. I needed to get you guys to listen to me. This whole time, no matter how many times I've called and texted, none of you ever answered me. I had to find a way to get you to listen to me.
Come on, what the hell are you talking about? An excuse like that won't work well in court, you know? And had you just shut up and taken the loss of your company, you might have still had a chance at becoming a simple office worker, right? But instead, you're just trying to do everything in your dwindling power to take my family down. The only option you have now is to live as a criminal and rot in jail like the rest of your kind. It also sounds like you hurt one of the security guards pretty good.
You married my son of all people, right? If I have to be convicted as a criminal because of this, that would make your husband's father a criminal, right? Are you saying that you're okay with something like that?
Yes, but also no. I'm okay with you becoming the criminal, which you are, but no, it will not be my husband's father becoming the criminal, as my husband's father died months ago. And if you start going around trying to claim that you are his father, my hard-working, company-owning husband will take you to court and sue you for trying to defame him. Now just shut the hell up already. The police are here now and will take you away.
What? Oh, hold on, please. This can't be happening to me. Having the police come to arrest me is taking things way too far.
What we've all learned is that as long as you're still free, you are never going to learn your damn lesson. And it's not like the police can just let you off the hook for trying to commit arson and for attacking one of this community's security guards. You have to understand that, right? From now on, you will be kept under close watch by the police. And hopefully, if you ever do get out of jail and back onto the streets, you will have finally learned your lesson and can be trusted again. Although you're better off rotting in hell, right? After having been taken away in police's custody, we never really heard much again from Sean, and thank God for that. When Marvin found out later on that his dad had come with the intent of trying to burn down our house only to get arrested after being tackled, he was in shock. But because he had far more pressing matters to attend to, like a brand new company, he only spent a few minutes thinking about his dad before forgetting about him for good. Immediately after being arrested, Sean's wife would leave the house and divorce him that same day while taking half of the money he had left. And then, a few days after the arrest, the man that once looked down and made fun of both my dad and I was now sitting in a courtroom having to face the security guard he had attacked and learning to see how many years he'd be locked away for. What I later learned is that he would be charged with attempted murder for trying to stab one of the security guards with a broken Molotov bottle, as well as be charged with attempted arson for trying to burn our place down. And all I can say to that is he frickin' deserves every second of his time in that place suffering for all the crap he's done to my family and Marvin. As for the company that Sean had lost due to a decrease in profits and a soon followed bankruptcy, my dad would end up buying it from the banks not too long after and letting me take it over, renamed and everything. At first I was a little hesitant to take over what was once run by a monster like Sean, but when I realized that it would only make him feel worse learning that it was now my company, I found it to be quite an enjoyable time rebranding the company and working to hopefully one day rub it into Sean's face. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.